My name is Daniel, and my wife is Mia. We got married when we were both 20 years old. It was the first serious relationship for each of us. Mia had always been so confident in her beauty that she almost expected men to chase her and try to win her over. On the other hand, I developed a perfectionist mindset. I believed that I could handle any task better than most. Naturally, these character traits played a role in shaping our life together. At first, I thought Mia wasn't really into intimacy, but I got creative and found ways to help her experience pleasure. It often meant putting my own desires on hold and focusing on doing everything just right for her. But it was worth it. When she feels good, I get this sense of aesthetic satisfaction, which, for me, is even more fulfilling than my own physical pleasure. Mia's an amazing homemaker and a devoted mother. She juggles household chores like a pro and always makes time for our child, creating a warm and cozy environment at home. 15 years have passed, and everything has been wonderful. 2 children. We are both 35 years old. Maya took a 3-year vacation, and when she finally returned to work, she shared her new impressions with me. Everything is the same, only now we have a new employee. Noah, 28 years old, divorced, still a troublemaker, but funny. His father heads the central office. So what's the big deal, right? Just a normal job, normal life. A week later, Mia's chair at work broke, and she asked me to fix it. I kept putting it off, busy with other things. Then Noah stepped in, fixed the chair with some tape but got dirty in the process. Mia would start coming home 2 hours late, saying they were closing out the annual report and that the whole department stayed late to wrap things up. About a month after she returned to work, something else happened. It was a Saturday, and we were in the bath together. Everything was fine, no signs of trouble. But the next morning, she tells me, "I need to go shopping, check out a few things. You're feeling under the weather, so stay home and rest." Mia loves shopping, so I didn't think much of it. She left at 8 in the morning and came back around 2 p.m., saying she didn't find anything worthwhile, and it was a wasted trip. But then I noticed something off. She looked unusually put together, carrying a small clutch bag over her shoulder. I'd never seen her dress like that just for shopping. Her face gave her away. Her eyes sparkled with happiness, and there was this radiant smile on her lips. She started undressing, and underneath, she was wearing my favorite set of lingerie. A black garter belt with black stockings. That outfit only came out on special occasions. I thought, who goes shopping with such a clutch? And she looked like a woman who had just returned from a romantic date, not to mention that she was wearing underwear. Almost on autopilot, I opened the clutch. A handkerchief, lipstick, and 2 unopened condoms fell out. "What's this?" I asked. "Well, they're not used." She snapped back. "So what? And what are they doing in your bag?" "They're in my desk at work too." "With whom?" I pressed. "Someone from work. But I'm not telling you who. You'd punch him in the face. It's my fault, not his." In the end, she came clean. With Noah. We just sat in a cafe, had a glass of wine, and then wandered the streets. But I didn't cheat on you. I just didn't have anywhere else to go. Then came the infamous line. "If you feel bad, cheat on me. It'll make you feel better." But again, she insisted she hadn't cheated. I slapped the condoms on the table and said, "That's it. I'm divorcing you. If you leave me, other men will stop paying attention to me." She shot back. Nothing happened between us. We just had deep conversations that you didn't know about. None of this would have happened, including today, if you hadn't been so hard on me. All you care about is sex, and yes, you're a master at it. Thanks for that. You taught me a lot. And it's great with you, but that's not what matters the most to me. She went on, "Look, I'm a woman, and I need attention too. Daniel, just give me some time. I'll fix things. Women can't always get it right." I figured it was all just empty promises. But then she added, "Daniel, what's going to happen to us now?" What'll happen? Love, it'll be amazing with you, I muttered to myself, while feeling like I was being pulled into this dull gray void. Everything suddenly seemed bleak and lifeless. I thought about divorce. But then, out of nowhere, my daughter stepped out of the other room, a spitting image of her mother, the woman I once loved more than anything. Like a bolt of lightning, the thought struck. Where are the kids going to end up? Leaving my daughter is like betraying her mother. I hadn't abandoned anyone, and I wasn't some kind of playboy. That night, we had another argument. In a mix of sadness, hope, or maybe even reproach, Mia blurted out, "Oh, Daniel, if you weren't so harsh, none of this would have happened." It's tough to explain how, but I had this gut feeling that, deep down, she hadn't been with anyone that day except me. On the surface, everything seemed fine, but my bruised male ego kept gnawing at me. It was like being on a roller coaster. A week later, on February 23, Mia gave me a bouquet of flowers. Yeah, that didn't lift my spirits. 2 days later, we argued again. She was at work. They were celebrating International Women's Day on March 8. I decided to go to the office. No one was there. She was sitting alone at the table, her head resting on it in despair. I took her home. A week later, I had to go to a hospital 50 kilometers away for a whole month. She visited me sometimes, but each time she seemed depressed and barely looked at me. I almost wish I hadn't gone. In conversations here and there, some nice guys from work began to be mentioned. One evening I called home from the hospital, and my son answered the phone. He said Mia told him she was going to a birthday party. It's strange, because the hero of the occasion was just a casual acquaintance, not even a close friend. I called a friend, waiting for what would follow. "Your wife is not here, and never has been." Mia didn't come home that night. She returned the next morning. Around 9 a.m., when I called her, I asked, "Where have you been?" "At a party." "I called, but you weren't there." "I was at Mrs. Jenkins, who works in the next sales department." But then again, this was not the person she was close to. After I was discharged from the hospital, I found out that it was Mrs. Birthday. Jenkins was a month and a half earlier, and Mia wasn't even there. In short, while I was in the hospital, she decided to take the opportunity to have some fun. I can only guess with whom. In anger, I slapped her a couple of times. She got upset, took a short vacation from work, and went to file for divorce. 4 hours later, she came back and said, I was determined to file for divorce. I was standing outside the building, but my legs wouldn't let me enter the door. That's when I realized that I still love you and I can't leave. For some reason, I found comfort in her words, and we continued to move forward. I wasn't particularly happy, but I started working in the field of trade, and things went up the hill. Mia helped me, and soon the money started coming in. What you won't do for your daughter,